first time that someone feels the Reiki moving through their body and the person that they're working with says, "Oh my Lord, I felt something," that is the greatest aha that I could possibly experience.
Welcome to Biz Stories Shared, where storytellers share their inspiration, motivation, some disappointments, and how they applied the lessons that led them to success. Stories are gifts. Listen as these gifts are shared. Now, here is your host, Charlotte Plott.
Well, hello, storytellers. This is Charlotte Plott, and I am thrilled to bring you our guest today, Joan Marlow. Joan, are you ready to be a storyteller?
Yes, I am.
Oh, wonderful. Well, Joan's middle name should be Possibilities. Through the work she does as a life and wellness coach, educator, Reiki master, and alternative health practitioner in her business, Peaceful Easy Healing, she's living her passion to help individuals enhance their health and well-being and create the best life they can live, taking what's possible and making it a reality. When someone suffers from physical pain, chronic illness, or the mental physical pain brought on by stress or depression, they can't show up fully for life. Joan's desire is to use education, Reiki, other energy techniques, coaching, or a combination of those modalities to help individuals attain and then sustain a healthy state of mind, a healthy state of well-being, and live the best life possible. Her classes include meditation, mindfulness, positivity, aromatherapy, mind-body connection, and just say no to stress. Well, Joan, I've given our listeners just a little summary about you. So can you tell us more about you personally? Because we want to get to know you better, and then give us an overview of your business.
Fine. Thank you so much. And Charlotte, thank you so much for this opportunity. My story is that I'm a forever teacher and a lifelong learner, and my background is education. I have a master's and a bachelor's degree in education, and I taught high school, taught community college. I was a corporate trainer for many years. I was an HR professional. And over the years, I have found that my school was actually watching people and learning from people. And bottom line, what I wanted to do was to help them be able to live the best life they possibly could be. And that's where Peaceful Easy Healing came in.
Well, that's a very profound goal that you have, and people need that kind of help. So thank you for doing that because it's an everyday challenge for
hmm
us, and you're right there ready to help, aren't you?
Yes, I am in any way I possibly can. Probably one of my greatest skills is the fact that I am the best of listeners, and I treat each person that comes into my life with respect, and I show compassion and empathy, and I listen so intently. And from there, I can figure out what the best way might be to help them and to support them in their journey. And actually have them look at what their journey is, because so many times people, especially when we talk about pain and chronic pain as well as the pain, emotional pains, people are afraid to bring those kinds of things out. And so I find that allowing people the opportunity to tell their stories, very similarly to what you're
Right.
doing, I give them an opportunity to find their voice. And when they find their voice, it provides us an opportunity to then get started. And over the years, I've had people tell me deep, dark secrets that no one else in the world knows. And it's from those deep, dark secrets that we find out that the body holds on to trauma and keeps holding them back from being able to do what they want or need or desire to do, and that is to live their best life.
Isn't it amazing what our body does by holding
hmm
on to those past hurts and those things that keep us from living our life as we should?
Yeah, and it's prevalent. Our bodies are designed to take in life experiences, of course.
Right.
And of course, under ordinary circumstances, when we come upon something, could be as simple as, watching a scary movie. And most of the times our body processes those things, but sometimes the body says, whoa, is that real or is that imaginary?
Right.
And the body can't tell the difference. And many times it's something as simple as a trauma from a movie or driving by an accident scene or experiencing something as a child that you might not even be able to recollect what the devil of all the details were. But those are the things that are holding us back. And those are the things that get trapped in our body. And it affects how we move forward in life.
How incredible that studies and science and everything is finally
Mm-hmm,
beginning to understand what our brain sees,
mm-hmm,
and then it puts it into our body, and we're really lucky that we have people like you who are willing to help us to get rid of those traumas and see how we can survive and still go forward and be a success.
mm-hmm. Well, thank you for saying that because I really do feel that this is my time. I think if I had ventured out in this world many more years than when I did, I don't think science would have caught up to the things that I'm doing
Right.
now. And I've been in my business since 08, 09, and it was through my own personal experiences where I was defeated spiritually, physically, and emotionally that I came upon Reiki. And Reiki has a component of it to provide self healing. And I literally brought myself from the depth of all kinds of things that were going on. I'd been in a motorcycle accident that I had injured my leg very, very badly, and doctors and physical therapists were saying this is going to be the best it's going to get. And I
Oh,
said, no way. I was also caught up in the debacle of the recession and lost my job in '08, which was a traditional, 9 to 5 kind of a
right.
job. And when I surfaced out of that after I got out of my cast and whatever else and found out that the world had fallen apart, there were no real positions for me in HR, in corporate training, any of the things that I had done, and I'd lost my identity. And those kinds of things are the things that really take you down and out. And thank God I found Reiki, and Reiki found me. And it was through the actual learning of Reiki that as I said, I supported myself and I was using Reiki with friends just to practice this new experience. And I was finding that they too were having some amazing healing. And I then decided that I was going to keep moving forward and become a master teacher because I wanted to be able to teach. Again, that's my major
Right.
background.
Right.
But for decades, I've been told by spiritual counselors and card readers and all kinds of things that I was going to be a teacher and a healer. I got the teacher part, but I couldn't get the healer part
Wow.
until Reiki came into my life. And Reiki is just an amazingly powerful yet simple tool, which all it takes is the intention. My intention is always for your greatest and highest good. And with that intention, the energy starts flowing through me, out my hands, and it's drawn into whomever or whatever I'm working with. So Reiki is drawn into the person that I'm sharing it with. And Reiki is an intuitive healing modality. So it actually goes to what you need in your body. So it heals at the mind, spiritual, or physical levels, depending upon what's rating the highest priority. One of my funniest stories is early on, I had a client and I was practicing, and she was complaining that she had a sciatica issue, and I was a greenhorn at all this. And she gets on the table and we start working, and the next thing you know, she starts crying, and I didn't know what to do. And the long and short of it is that she described it as being, as the Reiki started flowing through her, she said it felt like there was an elastic band around her
Oh,
toe. And she said, I didn't know if my leg was going to kick up in the air and smack you in the head or what the devil was going to happen.
wow.
And she said it just went throwing off of her toe. And she went through these tears. and she has never been affected by sciatica issues since.
Oh, for heaven's
So
sakes.
I was then a believer. From that moment on, I said, oh my Lord, it was really true. So she had to get through an emotional piece, whether it be the story she was telling about the sciatica issue or something else, who knows what it was, that it actually released the body and told the body that it was okay and safe, that we didn't need to have this physical pain. We had broken through the emotional barrier to make this happen.
Now that's
So
incredible.
I thought the exact same thing. And if someone had told me, I would have said, really? But I was there and I witnessed it. And I get to experience those things on an ongoing basis now. And it's amazing. So this is why I had to move forward and be able to teach people how to do Reiki, which I love. I love, love, love teaching people how to
I
do
can
Reiki.
understand why you would. Well, would you give us just a brief description of Reiki? So, is it like a massage? Is it manipulation? Is it um, touching parts that you know where the pain is, like her sciatic?
No, I don't have to know anything. Literally, I don't know anything. Like I said, I'm a people. I'm not a science person at all. And the magnificence of Reiki is, and again, if people want to visit my website, I've got a full explanation there.
Okay,
And my website address is www.peacefullyhealing.com.
okay,
And with a Reiki session, I use a massage table, or we can do seated Reiki as well. You stay fully clothed. It is a healing modality similar to chiropractic or acupuncture or a
all
massage
right.
in that it is using energy and moving things in the body, but I don't even touch the person.
Oh,
I hover my hands because keep in mind that our all we are is energy.
right.
Everything in the world is energy. The chair you're sitting on right now is energy. The computer you're working on is whatever. Every single thing is made of energy. It's just that things move at a different rate. And so hopefully we're moving at a faster rate than the chair is. And what happens is that your energy, we have our internal energy, and then we have an aura, and our aura reaches out around us, probably 12 or 15 feet from our bodies. And so sometimes when you go into a room and you feel the hair on the back of your neck stand up, that means that your energy probably is not blending with someone else's energy in that room, and pay attention to it. So but that's where people have to learn how to use their intuition as well
Sure.
and to learn to trust themselves. So as I said, all that happens with Reiki session takes about an hour, but again, I always say a little bit of Reiki is better than no Reiki at all. A full session's about an hour. And it's my intention, and my intention is always for your greatest and highest good. And I do utilize my hands. I place my hands over certain parts of the body, but I literally get out of the way and I let the Reiki do the magic.
Hmm.
I understand a little bit, enough to be dangerous, about how the body works. But with a sciatica, I didn't put my hands where a sciatica muscle might be. I don't do anything like that because the energy will flow to where it's needed. And that's the magnificence. And basically, what it does, it provides a deep level of relaxation, more relaxing than what we experience when we sleep. And it's through that deep level of relaxation that the body's natural healing abilities kick in. And there is the beauty of it. I love it when people fall asleep on my table, and I always tell them I give them extra points if they snore and drool. And they do,
Mhm.
because that is how deeply people get into this. And they literally, the relaxation is just amazing.
Well, thank you for that very good description of Reiki because I thought that it was like a massage and it went really deep and it really hurt when they
Oh,
did.
goodness.
And so I had
Mm-mm.
a very different impression of Reiki. So good for you for describing that. And
Well, thank you for
well,
asking. I love to describe Reiki, and I love to share Reiki with folks. And there are people out there that have no idea
no,
about what it is. And as I said, I'm here at the right time. I mean, it's becoming more and more
good.
commonplace. And you can learn Reiki in about a 5 hour class. And again, after I train someone in Reiki, Their thought can also, if their thought is a loving thought, they then start the flow of Reiki to either help themselves, help their pets. I'm also certified in animal Reiki, and my cats glow in the dark because they've had so much Reiki. And my little girl now actually helps me in Reiki. I've got clients that come in and ask for Callie to be part of their Reiki
Really?
session.
Well, how
Oh, they
wonderful.
they want her with them. Oh yeah, yeah. It's pretty
It
amazing.
is.
Pretty
That is
amazing.
really amazing. Well, thank you for explaining all of that, Joan.
Hmm.
And it's really good that you do because everybody doesn't understand how Reiki works. And so when you say you do Reiki, well, okay, there's one of those people. So we need to know those
Hmm.
details so that we can
Hmm.
understand it better. So thank you for that. And now I want to go to ask you what your favorite quote is because we always start every show with our guest's favorite quote. And so would you tell us that and then how you apply this quote to your everyday thinking?
I think my favorite. I got two favorite
Okay.
quotes. My one favorite quote is "It's all good."
Okay.
It's just a few simple words, and I think it just speaks volumes because truly, it is all good. We are where we are at this point in our life in this moment because we're meant to be in this
Okay.
moment. And it provides an opportunity to simply say, it is good. Whether we like this moment or not, we also know that this moment shall pass.
Okay.
And that's the part that I also teach when I teach meditation and mindfulness. And so I love "It's all good." And I say it all the time. My other favorite quote, and I actually have people call me and just say, call me off the ledge, Joan. I'm at that point where I'm hanging on. I got two fingers hanging on, help me. And I'll say, just breathe. And people will actually the minute I say it, they take a deep breath
Right.
in, they let a deep breath out, and again, you come to a sense of quiet, peacefulness, calmness, rest. You're resting your body, and you can then go on and face the rest of your day. So, and that's the name of my 5 week meditation class is called Just
Right.
Breathe as well, and basically it talks about conscious breathing.
And it is really amazing to me how we truly do not know how to breathe and how much that will help us to stay healthy. So I think it's very impressive that you have a 5 week course, did you say?
Yeah, that was a 5 week course. And now I'm actually expanding and I'm teaching a mind body connection
Okay.
class that focuses on literally creating some better habits for yourself. Primarily, we're looking at helping people that want to lose weight or attain a healthy weight, a healthy body,
Okay.
body management style. And what it talks about is this power of the brain. And if we can keep our brains positive, the rest of the body will follow suit. So it's with the positive affirmations and it's with getting rid of those little negative self-talk things that we always tell ourselves
Yes.
we aren't good enough. Oh darn, we broke it again. Oh darn, I knew I couldn't do it. They always told me that I wasn't worthy. I mean, all those things that we tell ourselves. And this is a way to get in touch, to experience lots of different techniques that we have the ability to do because we can make choices. All of it is about choices. And so I teach people the power of choice. And you can choose to look at a glass half full or half empty.
Right.
And it's in that process that we can also change where our thought patterns are and bring about a healthier body.
Oh, that's so true, and so good for you for telling us, reminding us that we have the power to choose and how we're going to live our life. So that is so important. And Joan, you've shared many of the facets of your life as a wellness coach, an educator, a Reiki master, an alternative health practitioner in your business. And we know when taking action, you either win or learn something. And sometimes
Mm-hmm.
the lessons learned are more valuable than the actions taken. So I want to ask you to tell us one of the times that you just didn't get the results that you set out to achieve.
Hmm. Seems to be that I'm at the point now that even if I think I face disappointments more than looking at them as failures. And I think so many times we set our expectations to a point that opens us up to for disappointments. And it's figuring out that again, whatever happens, there's a reason why this is happening. And one of some of the things that I have learned is I will think I've come up with this greatest idea, to create a class or to do something with clients, an activity or whatever else. And I will send it out there and no one else thinks it's as good of an idea as I
Ah,
did.
yes.
And I go, "Oh, darn, what do you mean? What's wrong
Go
here?"
read it again.
And I know. And what do you mean? What do you mean? I think I'm right. But it's that bottom line where you look at this and you say, okay, my lesson here is that I might think I have the greatest sliced white bread here, but maybe it's not. And so I have really learned to trust my thought of my process of writing things out, thinking them through before I jump, as well as I've actually brought some amazing people together in my life who I trust completely
Wow.
and who will be very open and honest with me and tell me if they think I'm crazy for what I'm considering, or they'll help me brainstorm a better way of doing things. And so, this board of advisory, as I love to call them, my advisory council, will step in because none of us can do it alone. And I think that's one of those huge lessons as well. It's a lesson of whether or not we are reaching out to others to get their advice and their help because we all come into this world with different perspectives. We all come into this world with our different lessons and our different experiences, and we can learn from
Right.
that.
Well, what I'd like you to do, Joan, is can you just go to one time when you just didn't get the results that you set out to achieve? Do you have a story about that?
I think the biggest failure that I ever had was even before I moved to Arizona. And when I was on the East Coast, and I've been in Arizona for 10 years. So a little bit before I made my move, I had a very successful consulting business, organizational development consulting to small and mid-sized businesses back east. And all of a sudden, and I was a small business person at that point in time, I had a computer
Oh,
crash
no.
and I lost everything. I lost records. I lost everything that I'd worked so hard to create. And that was a very, very defeating period of time in my life. And when I came out here, I said, well, I can't do that. And I went back and I worked, a regular 9 to 5 job for a while. But the aha in all of that was I really found that I'm happier or happiest being an entrepreneur, a small business owner, as well as providing help and services so that at that point in time it was providing more work, more help to companies as well as the individuals in the companies. And so that was my aha moment. And so I said, for the good or the bad, I need to be an entrepreneur. And so I gave up the security of a 9 to 5 job and went back into the world of having my own business. And I couldn't be happier. For richer or for poorer, here I am. And again, those lessons that come up all the time are pretty phenomenal. One of the things that also comes out of this is for people to truly trust their gut and to figure out what their intuition is. And it took me a long time to get what my intuition was. And I work with clients now for them to understand what their intuition is because our intuition won't lie to us. Our intuition is really, really telling us the bigger truth. Our body knows everything. Our mind knows everything. We just sometimes get in the way and we make some decisions that we think are the best ones, and maybe we don't turn around in a timely enough manner. or sometimes we give up too early. But it's sitting and taking a moment to really, really consider what are the pros and the cons? What's best for me? Where am I happiest? And how you find that level of happiness. And I think once you find that happiness, I think anything is possible.
Well, that's great. Well, thank you for that. And now, Joan, I'm going to ask you to bring us to the present time and to
Hmm.
share your proudest entrepreneurial moment.
I am very fortunate because I have lots of proud entrepreneurial moments. Some of my most favorite moments are, well, back to that whole Reiki thing. In a Reiki class, when one of my, what during the class itself, the students actually practice Reiki on each other.
Oh,
And the first time that someone feels the Reiki moving through their body and the person that they're working with says, "Oh my Lord, I felt something," that is the greatest aha that I could possibly experience. But the same thing happens when I teach a class and the lights come on in somebody's face that I actually hit home and I actually shared something that they can equate to, they can relate to, that they can now take and run with. The same thing with a coaching client. When a coaching client comes through the process and they have those aha moments and they're willing to take a risk or they are willing to change a habit and they find out that they can have success in their lives and that they end up making some of these miraculous things happen. I don't, they come to me and they say, "Thank you." It's not me. I'm there to maybe lead and guide them, but ultimately, it's each one of us getting in touch with who we are
hmm
and how that applies to us personally. So it's these personal wins that other people experience. Those are my proudest, proudest
oh, well,
moments.
good for you. Well, our listeners want to hear stories like yours, how your business helps individuals enhance their health and well being and create the best life that they can live, and taking that possibility and making it a reality. So, would you tell
Mhm.
us one thing that is really exciting you in your business right now?
Well, I think one thing is the fact that I am teaching so many classes, and that's very, very exciting. The other thing, the other more huge information, I guess, is that I am really working and embracing my website, and I certainly appreciate the help that you are sharing as well with this interview and podcast, and embracing social media in the fact that I am creating, I'm redoing my website right now, putting it on a different platform, and getting ready to really launch the world of blogging, as
Oh,
well as yeah, as well as creating um, uh, online classes, whether it be through webinars and creating communities of source so that folks can get together, like-minded people, as well as I have now been given the seed to what's going to become a book.
really?
And yes, I'm very excited about
Good for
that.
you.
Yeah, I've been told forever as well that I had a book inside of me, and I think I have finally figured out what this is going to be. And so this year it's going to at least become an ebook.
Great.
And from there, I'm going to go greater and bigger. And what it's going to be is from a class I'm creating right now, and it's called the One Word Wisdom. And so it's going to be taking words that are emotionally charged words like abundance, or it could be forgiveness, or it could be grief, or it could be fear, and doing a class around that, as well as then writing stories like you and I are talking about right now, because I have tons of those kinds of stories, and then letting people find the wisdom that comes out of that and what that means for
Oh,
them.
that sounds powerful. And doing that one word wisdom, is that what you called it?
That's today what it's
Yeah,
called.
well, that's
That's
great.
today what it's
That's a
called.
start.
It's
That's a great
still
start.
morphing. Yeah, it's still morphing. and I'm very, very excited. And we'll be launching these classes the end of January or mid-January. I guess we're going to be launching them, and I'm very, very excited. And the other thing that's exciting for me in my business right now is that I'm cycling back into the business world in that I have a couple of corporate clients and I'm back helping corporations be the best they
Wonderful.
can be. Yeah, so I'm going back to my beginnings, and it's quite rewarding to help people again create processes and procedures and protocol, and having people understand what their role is within an organization because that sometimes gets in the way of an organization
It
succeeding.
does. Hmm.
So I am branching, or I should say, I'm looping back
Yeah,
into
I
that
like that.
world. I'm so
Oh, that
excited.
is
I'm
wonderful. What a powerful pivot that you're doing because organizations need help like you are providing to the people. So good for you for doing that.
all I need are more hours in the
Right,
day.
I know. Well, Joan, what is the best business advice that you have ever received?
Again, going way back in time. This is when I was back in Maryland, and I was on the fence about whether or not I was going to stay in the 9 to 5 world or branch out on my own and do my own business. And I had an amazing mentor that told me that you really can't have a life in both areas. You've got to commit.
Oh,
And and she said you have to be all in. You can't, especially because I was in the process of looking for a job versus do I want to start my own business?
okay.
And that was too much. Um, and I that was the best advice someone could give. And it was all based upon the fear that I had that I wasn't going to be successful, that I couldn't make it. Who am I to think that I can do this? I've seen other people fail. However, I forgot to look at the fact that other people could
Right.
succeed. And like I said, this was in the olden days, a different person than I am today. And this gal, she was amazing, and I so honor her in my life because she stood by my side as I went through this, and she helped to dispel some of those fears for me. And bottom line is, nothing ventured, nothing
Yeah, that's
gained.
for sure.
What's the worst? What's the worst that can happen? You go into business and it doesn't work. Well, you go out and you work a traditional job
Right.
again. Really? So, so what's the big deal?
One of the acronyms that I like about fear is that it's false evidence appearing real.
Oh, goodness gracious, I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah,
Thank you for
yeah,
reminding
that's
me
a
of that.
powerful one.
And that is so
It,
true. Thank you. And I'm going to do something with that can be part of my one word wisdom.
good,
Thank you
you
so
bet. You're
much.
very
Yep.
welcome.
On the chapter talking about fear.
Yeah.
And I'll dedicate that to
Oh,
you.
thank you. Well, Joan, what is the vision of the future of your business?
My vision is, again, being able to reach more people,
Okay.
to be more expansive. And I have finally said okay to the social media world. And there's no reason why I can't do my classes that the whole world can experience. Now, the world
Absolutely.
of social media and just the things that you're doing with podcasts and doing webinars and doing interactive conference calling and whatever. There's no reason why that can't be done. And so my vision for the future is to certainly be able to reach far more people, state to state, coast to coast.
Yes.
I really don't care. It doesn't matter what time schedule they're on or anything else, because in the world that we live in, we can do things in real time. And if people want to be part of it, fine. If not, hey, they can do a download and pick it up later
Right.
on.
And it's
And
actually it's continent to continent.
you better believe it.
Good.
You better believe it. It is continent to
It
continent.
is.
And I guess I need to expand even further than that.
Yeah.
But again, I want to build communities of people. There are so many like-minded people, and we're talking about the people that still need to see the light
Yes.
and are still covered with that fear. They form a group, And they together need to see that what their positive strengths are and where their pieces are, that they can help each other and start seeing those little successes so that they can start to grow and
Yeah.
flourish. And that's what I want, as well as the people that are the like-minded people and need that next oomph to make the
Yeah.
next big jump. So communities of people.
Absolutely. Well, Joan, can you share one of your personal habits that you strongly believe contributes to your success?
I think I spoke about it a little bit in early on. I think one of my success elements is the fact that I am such a wonderful listener,
Yes.
and the fact that when I listen, it's my whole body, mind, and spirit that's embraced in what I'm listening to. And I have learned over the years not to jump to conclusions. And I teach this stuff too when I teach people about how to have difficult conversations, etc., and how to give feedback. Um, I listen for someone to share their entire thought, what it is. And then I ask qualifying questions, clarifying questions before I blurt out what, my thoughts are.
Right.
And I demonstrate compassion for other people, and I also live with my own self-compassion. But I think it's the listening skills that are truly my secret to success. As a life coach, by all means, that's important because so many times people aren't heard, and that's one of the things that's holding them back because they think of themselves as unworthy or who's going to listen to
Mm-hmm.
me or I've been told to be quiet my entire life and I really have a voice. And that I think is huge.
It definitely is huge. And usually, when somebody is talking, the listeners are just waiting for them to hurry up and be quiet so they can say something, and they aren't really listening. So, for you to have the skill of listening, that is really, really powerful. So good for you for having that, and hang on to that, because we all need to develop that more than we have.
And trust me, sometimes I'm biting my tongue, and that's an exercise I actually have to with doing with clients. I say, bite your tongue,
Right.
literally. Put your little teeth on your tongue and bite it.
Yeah.
And they go and they laugh like
Yeah.
you just
Right.
did. And then they do it and they say, "Oh my goodness, I get
Mm-hmm.
it. I get it that." And again, one of the other little acronyms is, or not an acronym, I don't know what it would be called, but God gave us one mouth and two
That's
ears.
right. Yeah.
So let's use them
That's a very
appropriately.
good example. Well, Joan, do you have an internet resource to share with our listeners that helps your efficiency, like Evernote or an app? And storytellers, you will find the links to these sites in the show notes of today's episode at bizstoryshared.com/Joan Marlow. So, Joan, do you have an internet resource?
I use Evernote.
Okay.
Yeah, I love Evernote. I've got it on my phone, I've got it on my computer, and it is just so handy. I used to be a post-it note girl, and then I would lose the post-it notes,
Yes.
or or my post-it notes would have post-it
Yeah.
notes. And I know that's a habit, that's an organizational habit that's not good for me. Evernote seems to be my
Yeah,
go-to.
it's a very powerful program. So I thank you for sharing that. And so now
Mhm.
would you describe for us who are perfect referrals for your business? And by that I mean business associates or clients that our listeners know who would benefit from doing business with you.
Again, because I serve such a broad range of folks, in looking for coaching clients and clients that are just looking for help and assistance in making some of the pain go away, I'm looking for people that are in transition or people that might have lost their way or people that might have lost what their purpose is, or people that are just feeling that they aren't living their full life. That's one arena. The other arena that I'm always looking for opportunities to speak, whether it be at association conferences or meetings, at any level. I've been a keynote speaker in many, many, many worlds, and that's a wonderful avenue for me to get my message out, as well as to just spark interest with folks so that they might say, I'm feeling brave and I'm going to ask for help, because sometimes people think that that's a weakness when they need that kind of help.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, so those are the kinds of things that I'm looking for as far as my perfect
Okay,
referrals.
great. Thank you for sharing those. And then now,
Mhm.
if you would recommend just one book to our listeners, what would it be?
Just one, huh?
Aha.
One of the things on my to-do list for 2016 is to create my own little personal bibliography. Um, I think the book that I would recommend is for The Four
Oh,
Agreements
I love that.
by Don Miguel Ruiz.
Yeah, good one.
It is a powerful, easily read book that, in 4 points, makes a huge difference in your life. And I go to that. I can't even tell you the number of times I've read it. I can't tell you the number of times I've advised others to take a
Right.
look at it. And it's a reminder. I mean, to speak your impeccable truth. I mean, you go, okay, I need that to live by that and stand by
Right.
that.
Yeah, a
Yes.
very good recommendation. And Joan,
Mhm.
I've truly enjoyed listening to your journey and the stories that you've shared. So would you please share one more time how we can get in touch with you and any other resources that you want us to have, and then we'll say goodbye.
By all means, and thank you so much. My website address is peacefullyhealing.com.
Okay.
And my email address is jdmarlow, Marlow, 2 at gmail.com.
Okay. Great. All
Mm-hmm.
right. Well, again, I thank you for your time and your expertise and all that you have shared with us. It was very generous of you to do this. And so, listeners, remember that you can find the links to this resource and everything that we've been chatting about today in the episode by going to bizstoryshared.com, Joan Marlow. Thank you again, Joan, and goodbye for now.
Thank you so much, Charlotte. What a wonderful experience this has been.
Thank,
Have a grand
thank you.
day.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Give the storyteller some love. Go to bizstoryshared.com, click on the iTunes button, and give a 5-star review. Thanks.